And I think that, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, everyone, welcome. It is Monday, and this is Tara. She is our amazing upline, and she's going to share some wonderful information with us. I had the opportunity for the first time to meet her on Friday, and she opened my eyes to some really, really wonderful things about myself. And so I wanted her to share with you guys. And so the floor is all yours, my lady.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm not upline because there's like a lot of people hearing you that you're probably your upline, but I have been here. I'm Tara Truax. I've been here in QSciences for 2.5 years. I came here at the end of November, right at Christmas time, in the end of 2018, in our very first year of this comp plan. So when Mr. Jake Spencer had just come here, I came right after the launch of hemp. At that point, we had nothing in stock. There were 2 products in stock, and those 2 products in stock, we sold the crap out of them that December, and they were like, we don't even have them anymore. And so I've been here from the beginning of what we have now, with the vision of where we're going and what we're creating now. Going into this convention, going into NSYNC is like the vision of what I had when I came in. And when I came in, I would tell people, you're not going to get your products for 4 to 6 weeks. We were in massive momentum, and our production company, which is a completely different company than we have now, couldn't even keep up. They couldn't even keep up with what we had. We had products that looked like a completely different brand, looked like came out of a doctor's office. Everything was completely different, but the vision of where I was going and the belief and the faith I had was way bigger than any circumstance I was in. Now, with that being said, we were in massive momentum. We went really, really, really fast. And I was able that year that I was like 4 months in, I was inducted into what is our first VP of sales, which is now what our advisory council is, that helped make decisions for the company. Now, I've been on that advisory now for 3 years, and it's been an absolute blessing to be part of what we are creating here. And just so you guys know, I have like extreme ADD. So if you could just keep yourself muted, as soon as someone unmutes, I'm like a squirrel and I lose everything that I'm saying. It just goes gone. So if you guys could please keep yourself muted, that would be awesome. So we've been able to, really go through those times to find new distributors, to find the right branding, to find the right partners in the company on corporate side and out in the field, to build something that is what you guys are actually now being able to take advantage of. And where you guys have come in placement wise and building wise, just because I know when Dylan came in and I know when Paige came in. So all of you are coming in at a time that is, this year of 2021, you guys are in perfect position. But what I'm seeing happen for so many of you is a blame game. Blaming product, blaming upline, blaming sideline, blaming placement, blaming not being launched, there is a blame game happening. And what I want to step into and really focus on tonight is your limiting beliefs around what you're believing and telling yourself versus you stepping into your power. So the second you blame anyone for your business, you take your power away. You just gave them all your power. Now, as the CEO of your business, you should be the person that's in power of your business. You're the person that's in power of why you came to QSciences in the first place. You're the person that is building your business for your vision, for your 5-year vision, for your family. So I hope you have paper to write down right now, because I want you to ask this question on your paper. Why did I come to QSciences? Just write that. Why did I come to QSciences? Why did you come here? Did you come here because someone told you you had to come? Did someone tell you, oh, I had to come because I was leaving my other company, I was going to lose my whole team? Again, that's blame, by the way. You have to take ownership for why you came to QSciences in the first place. And now ask yourself, 5 years from now, when I wake up on my birthday, 5 years from now, how old am I going to be? Where am I going to live? Who's going to be there? Do I have children? How old are they? If you have a partner or a spouse, how old are they? On my birthday, 5 years from now, on my most ideal day, 5 years from now, when I wake up, what does my life look like? if you have not written out your 5-year living vision, which means how you're living your life 5 years from now, then you are not creating that step by step now, making the choice. And when you do that, there is no blame to anyone, because the only person that's the creator of your life is you. Therefore, the choices you make on a daily basis, how to tap into resources, how to utilize your app, how to utilize your back office, how to utilize the team pages, how to utilize the guides in the team pages, which are all resources for you, how to utilize the tools to build yourself the business that's going to create that living vision of your life 5 years from now is up to you, no one else. Unfortunately, many of you guys have the limiting belief that someone's going to rescue you. And that's going to trigger some of you. But I want you to really ask yourself, am I waiting for someone to rescue me? Sometimes when we are younger, we have, I'll someday get married and that will rescue me from my financial problem. Or I'll just go to college to meet my husband and that will rescue me for my life. They'll take care of me. Or if I just find that rock star, that will rescue this leg and I will become a crown diamond in this company. No one is going to rescue your business, because you're the CEO of your business and you must rescue you. Even if you have a huge rock star, there is no guarantee that that rock star isn't going to leave. There's no guarantee that that rock star something may happen to them health-wise. There's no guarantee anything in life. There's no rescue. You're your rescue. So do you have a limiting belief that you're looking for someone to rescue you? Because if you are, you're probably the same person that has the tendency to blame. We want to get out of that. We want to get into extreme ownership for the things that we're showing up for in our life. So some of you, when you go to sit down and write out a living vision, which I'm going to talk to you guys about real quick here in a second, you may get stuck. You may say to yourself, I'm having a really hard time seeing my life in 5 years. I'm having a really hard time dreaming. I've gone through a really hard period of my life and I don't feel worthy of dreaming, or I just can't see that far ahead. That's because the baggage of your past is so heavy that it's blocking you from creating anything new in your future. And as long as that's weighting you down, your future will only be the same thing of your past, you reliving it over and over and over, because you're trying to prove your worth and you're trying to prove your value by recreating your past to show up in that. And that's what we want to break. We want to break all of that. Maybe you had trauma in this industry before. Maybe you had trauma in business before. Maybe you failed miserably multiple times. Guess what? We all have. That's how we got here. We got here because we failed so many times. We picked ourselves back up. We learned from that and we used that as wisdom to move forward. We didn't use that as our shame. We didn't use it as our blame. We didn't use that as the label of where we came from. We simply picked ourselves up. I went from 6 figures of debt. I've been in this industry for 6 years. I went from 6 figures of debt and a child that was completely ill to a place where now we've made over $1 million in this industry, and we did it in 2 years. That was by dropping my limiting beliefs around money. That was by dropping my limiting beliefs about what I was worthy of. That was by dropping my limiting beliefs about what I was willing to receive. So some of you are so bent on doing it yourself and you just have to take care of it all and you have to just do it all yourself that you will never create a team or let leaders blossom in your team, because you want to do it all yourself because you don't trust other people. And in that, you don't trust money. You're not willing to receive. You have to trust, you have to be willing to receive, and you have to be willing to show up in that. So first thing we're going to do is deal with the limiting beliefs. Then I'm going to give you some tools to write your living vision, and then you get to go home and do all the homework on your own. So what I want you to do is go to a time 0 to 12 in your life. This is not therapy, by the way. 0 to 12 in your life, and a time that pops in your head, first thing that pops in your head, when you didn't feel worthy of love, worthy of receiving, worthy of trust, someone broke your trust horribly, or you had a witness or experience with money where someone had money and you felt either money was bad, you didn't have it, you couldn't have it, you didn't feel worthy of it. First thing that pops in your head, write it down on your paper. Now, you're going to go and you're going to write a letter. It's called a release letter. Every leader in our team does these. Every single one. I had 3 calls with leaders today, and guess what they all got to do when we got off those calls? Guess what Paige got to do after she got off her calls? She had to write more than one, a couple, I think. You're going to write a release letter. And this is a tool you'll be able to use all the time. You'll be able to use it with leaders. You'll be able to do it when someone pisses you off, because you're going to use this to access your emotions. So you let go of the emotion tied to an event. When we let go of the emotion tied to an event, we can change the feeling. When we can change the feeling, we can change the thought. When we change the thought and it no longer has emotion, now it becomes wisdom. And now that moves you towards your future, not stuck in your past. So I want you to sit down. It's going to probably take 20 to 30 minutes, and you have to do it when no one's bothering you, because there's no way to do it otherwise. And you're going to go to that time. So say when I was about 12, my mom and my sister told me, both of them, at an experience that pops in my head, of no one likes you, Tara. If you act that way, no wonder you have no friends. Now, I was an introvert. My sister was an extrovert. She had tons and tons of friends, and I did not. I had about 4 very close friends and my dance friends. I didn't care. I actually didn't like a whole lot of people. I kind of still don't. But I thought I was wrong or weird or bad because I wasn't like my sister. Now, my mom was also an extrovert. She liked to talk to everyone. Well, I didn't like to talk to people. I just didn't. It wasn't fun for me. So I took that as I was wrong. Okay. No one makes you do anything. They didn't make me. That was the wrong words. I didn't mean to say that. So I felt from that experience that I was wrong. And I took on that, okay, well, if I don't have a lot of friends and I don't talk to a lot of people, then no one likes me. And therefore, I went on for most of my life, well into my 20s, thinking people didn't like me and they only wanted me to do things for certain things. Like I was a dancer, so they only wanted me for certain jobs or certain roles. It wasn't because they actually liked me as the person. It was for the things I could do. Therefore, if I wasn't doing more, I wasn't valuable. See how all these things are tied into one experience? Now, if I wasn't doing more and I wasn't valuable and I wasn't doing more and more and more, then I couldn't do more to get rewarded for that. So I had to work harder to make more money. And if I wasn't working hard enough, I didn't feel worthy of making that money. Now it becomes an issue about money as well. It becomes an issue about receiving. If I'm not doing more, then I'm not worthy of more. All of those things tied to one experience. People don't like me. Now, also, it's really hard to build a team when you don't believe people like you. It's really hard to message someone to go into business and partner with someone when you think people don't like you. It's also really hard to get on stage in front of thousands of people and talk when you think people don't like you, because that will actually stop you because you're more worried about what other people think than you. So I would sit down and I would go and write a release letter. And what happens is you start to write the letter, and I would write the letter first to my mom. You can't write it to 2 people at once. So I would write it to my mom. And I would write, "Dear Mom, when I was 12 and you told me blah, blah, blah," and I start writing that experience down. Okay. And it could be slow because I'm thinking, you start by thinking. So your hand's like controlled. Just start writing your feelings. This is how I felt. Your hand, you're going to notice, starts to just start going. Don't worry about punctuation. It could get messy. It could get sloppy. You could write a lot of cuss words. You could write upside down. Sometimes when I write my release letters, they're so messy that I could never even read them back. Okay. Because I'm just writing all the energy and the emotion, how I felt, what happened, all the things. And you're going to write that letter to that person that you had that experience at that age, to a point where you get to a place of love, forgiveness, or understanding and compassion. And the place of forgiveness actually comes to yourself, because this is for you. This is not for them. This is for you to free yourself from what your paradigm, your glasses that you saw that at when you were whatever age you were. And you're breaking free from that. See, we only know the things we see from our perspective. Perfect example. I grew up in a house of 4 girls and my mom. So there were 5 girls. There was an experience that happened, and me and my sisters, we all would tell you a completely different story of what happened, as if we were actually like in a different place. It's that different. And then you have my mom, who actually went through the experience, with her perspective, and you're like, what the heck? It's completely different because we were all seeing it through different paradigms, different perspective. That's what you're carrying. You're carrying your 5-year-old perspective, your 6-year-old perspective, your 12-year-old perspective on that. And you're carrying it as an adult, and you're recreating those experiences to provide value because that's what you know. So we want to break that. So once you get to a place of forgiveness, and yes, I forgive myself for judging myself as unlovable. I forgive myself for judging you. You are doing the best you can. When you get to a place of compassion, you can close your letter out, and then you will take the letter, tear it up, take it outside, and burn it. Do not set your house on fire. Do not burn it in your house. Do not tell me that, oh, Tara told me to burn it and I burned my house down. Please don't. Go get a metal pan and burn it outside, away from you. Can't burn it for whatever reason, tear it up in small pieces and flush it down the toilet. Again, don't do it if you have like a septic or something and blame me, you backed up your toilet. Tear it up smaller. Do whatever you need, but you need to use some sort of component, whether it be water or fire, to release that, and you will release the emotions. It's normal to cry. It's normal to get angry. It's normal. All those things, release it on the paper and let that go because you release the emotion. We had a woman on our team, no joke, lost 25 pounds from writing one release letter. It was how much weight that experience was carrying on her body. So once you release that, you may notice you need to write a second one, right? I told you my mom and my sister. So then I would have to maybe write one to my sister after. You may notice, oh, I wrote one to my mom and then my dad came up. Whatever that is, write it, release it, let it go. You may find someone on your team triggers you really bad and you can't figure out why this person triggers you. It's probably from an old sister wound or a family wound because they're triggering that, but it could be a best friend or somebody when you were younger that person reminds you of, that you have some sort of stuff that person is just showing you, you got to let it go. You never knew building a network marketing was just going to be like therapy thrown at your face. But what I do know is you cannot go to Paige and expect her to counsel you through every problem you have. She's not a therapist, and she would be a really expensive therapist, way too expensive per hour than you guys are even giving her credit for. It's not okay. You guys have to step into ownership of your own crap. Know that you're a human. We all are humans. We've all had a life. We've all gone through really hard stuff that has gotten us to where we are, which makes us all survivors. So own that part of yourself and start to see that in other people. Once you do that too, you're going to start to see that you're surrounded by some really cool people with really cool experiences, and that could build a really strong team and use that for your support instead of breaking it apart. This is also, as a leader, where when you start to learn these things about people, you become a vault. You don't talk about other people. You don't tell people other things. If I told you what I knew about my team, it would break all the trust that is the foundation of our team. If I told you what I know about every leader in this company, it would break all the trust of what solidifies QSciences to be as special as it is. So you have to become a vault and get very aware of who you are showing up in your business. Now, once you dump the baggage of your past, then you get to go do the fun part and write the part of your future. So now I want you to write your living vision. So when you wake up on your birthday, 5 years from now, I want you to write out as if you are living it now. So when I wake up on my birthday, when I'm 46 years old, I wake up on my birthday to my house in the Bahamas. I grab my laptop and my coffee, because I love coffee, and I go sit out over the water and I start working on my second book. My son comes out, he has his art easel, he's 13, and he starts working on a piece for his art show when we get back to the States. We're back in the States a couple months later, and we're getting ready for this big gala for children and food that I'm incredibly passionate about donating to every single month. Now, mine's in detail. We talk about places we travel. I talk about how many diamonds in our organization. I talk about how much income is coming in, where that's going, all the things about some of the families and our children. I talk about all those things in my living vision as it's happening real time now, so that I can see it. Now, none of those things are real now. I don't own a house in the Bahamas, though I have created one in my backyard. Our next step is to buy a house in the Bahamas because that's where I the exumas, that energy. I love it. And Marielle will call me all the time and she'd be like, have you looked at houses yet? Because she knows that that will keep my head in the game. It keeps my head present to what I'm creating, the action steps I'm taking on a daily basis. Then when someone comes in and they say a bunch of BS to me, or they have a bad day and they dump on me, I can look right at it and say, is this in my life in 5 years? And if the answer is no, it drops immediately. And it does not take away from the things that are creating the future for my family. You also want to be very, very, very careful. This is also if someone comes in and they tell you, like, you're crazy, you can't do this, I don't believe in you, you can't make more money, network marketing is a scam. And you can look right at them and say, are you in my life in 5 years? Are you going to be helping my children in 5 years? Do you matter? Does your opinion matter in 5 years? And if it doesn't, it gets no weight. Some of you guys are giving your energy and time to people's opinions that have no value whatsoever to the four walls of what goes on in your house and to God above. You guys are giving value to things that don't matter. Some of you guys are having arguments within your team or resistance against each other. You guys, resistance only creates resistance. Some of you need to just be quiet and get to work. Because if you're worrying about other people's businesses and not your own, you're not working your own, which means you're taking your time and value away from your children, from your family, from why you're doing this in the first place. Remember, I told you on your paper, right? Why are you doing QSciences? Why did you come here? Every single thing you're doing should go back to why you're coming here. And if you're not taking those actions to grow you, to use the experiences in your life that maybe something is causing resistance. Resistance is causing resistance for a reason. It wants you to look at it. It's showing you where you need to grow. You can't sweep an issue under the carpet and not expect it to come up. I'm sorry if you don't cuss, but I do. But shit smells, you guys, and just sweeping it under the carpet just makes a really smelly carpet over time. And you have to address it. That's how you grow. And it doesn't happen overnight. I'm not even close to the same person I was when I came here. Not even close. We were 6 figures in debt. To go from 6 figures of debt to getting out of debt in a year to 7 figures of earnings. Not just money that changes us, because money will never change you ever. Money just magnifies who you are. So if you're not showing up in a healthy, loving, kind way to everyone around you, then that's going to just magnify that the more money you make. So if you want to really cause an impact and you really want to serve people well, then I want you guys to really step in and start serving your heart, serving your own growth, serving you. And before you go to any leader and complain or talk about someone else, or blame, I want you to reflect back to yourself and what action step you can take to grow you and what this is reflecting back to you. And will this matter in your vision in 5 years? Because if it won't, it's a waste of your breath. And that time is better spent talking to a new person and bringing them into this business and getting them started right. So Paige, that's what I got for you. If you want to open it up to questions or whatever, I'm just gonna, you let me know what you want to do. Oh, are you muted? Hey, Dylan, can you unmute her?
Okay. Wow. Okay. So that is so, I would love for people to be able to open, I can't even talk. I would love for people to be able to ask questions or open it up to questions if you're open to that.
Yes, so I am, and I don't think people can unmute themselves. So what I'm going to ask is that if you drop your question in the comments, yeah. And then if we need to unmute you, then I'll have Dylan find you and unmute you. But yeah, if you could drop your questions, if you have something very specific, let me see. I'm going to try to look. Someone asked if I've studied Bob Proctor. I have done a lot of especially Think and Grow Rich, but Part of it is just life, guys. Part of it is really just digging in and figuring it out, and really messing up. Some of you guys are so scared to fail that you're not letting yourself really let go of the limitations you have so that you can step into who you are. When people see you fail, the best thing, I am so serious, the best thing that ever happened to me was when I publicly missed Diamond, and you all missed it because you weren't here, but I missed Diamond by this much last September. So small. People bought that rank with way more volume than I missed it for. But I've never bought a rank ever in my career. And because I never bought a rank, I've held that, which is why we got to $1 million in earnings at Emerald and held it and didn't slide, because I built every single step to it. And I never hit a rank with a push ever either. I only built my ranks by helping people get to theirs ever. The best thing that ever happened was missing that rank, because I could have told you till I was blue in the face that my rank did not define my worth. My money did not define my worth. I could have told you that. But until I actually had the experience where I missed it, I had a good cry for a few minutes, called Jake, said, dude, it's not happening. I'm just a little too short. And he's like, I trust you, man. Do what you need to do. Let a good cry out, got back to work, got Fran to Blue Diamond, got our other people to where they needed to go. We had a couple rubies and other people that needed to hit, and I did my job, and I didn't feel any less worthy. Yeah, it sucked not to say Diamond, but who at the end of the day cares? When I die, does that matter? It won't be on my tombstone. Doesn't matter. It's who you show up as. It's falling on your face and getting back up, because that's what makes you who you are. And you can study everyone, you guys, you can read a million books, but if you don't do the work in your actual life, I don't care. I actually don't care. You have to be a good human. You have to show up as a good human. I'm looking to see if there's any other questions. I'm scrolling through. Okay. Dylan said, can you explain how the actions and effort during the summer creates the momentum for the rest of the year? Okay. Yeah, an Emerald paycheck does not suck, FYI. That's a lot of money when the most money you've ever made in your life is $40,000, and that's how much you make every single month. And you have a husband who's a way up executive that also makes a lot of money. It's a big difference when you come from that perspective, but your ego steps in. There's not moments where I'm like, oh, look, Brittany made $240,000 paycheck. And it doesn't change your worth. It doesn't change your value. So just remember that. It's how you show up. So this is not just for the summer, Dylan. I want to talk about this for 90 days out. When you plant seeds, okay, I want you guys to think about a garden. When you plant a seed from the bottom, like pumpkin seeds, okay, you plant pumpkin seeds in August because you want to harvest them into July, because you want to harvest them in October. It's about 90 days out. You're not going to be eating the fruit from the seeds that you plant immediately. It's not even possible. You can't do that. Think of anything, but there's different plants. So I want you to also think about that. Wheat grows very, very quickly. You can plant wheat seeds and they cut it and they harvest it very, very fast. That's why our body metabolizes it so fast. But a pineapple takes 6 to 8 months to grow one pineapple. So you also have to realize the wheat that your body consumes and metabolizes fast is going to be a little bit different than the pineapple that took 7 to 8 months to create. That is one pineapple. It doesn't create a pineapple tree. It's one pineapple. And then that has all the enzymes your body, it's actually a really good superfood, and how your body metabolizes that. And that's just with food. Now you can think about that with the type of people you recruit as well. There's going to be people that come in your business and they go out faster than you even launched them. And you're like, what the hell just happened? But then there's going to be the people that maybe took you quite a while to bring into this business. Maybe you had to follow up for quite a while. Maybe you had to plant those seeds and have those conversations and follow up and then follow up and then follow up and then follow up. And then maybe they ghost you for 2 months and then you follow up again and now they're back in, and the timing has to be right for them so that when they plant their seeds, they also grow. And then you have that very special pineapple. So you have to remember, we don't want just a whole lot of wheat in our organization. We want pineapples too. And that sometimes is going to be the work you put in now. So the work you're putting in now, you may not get a lot of fruit right now. You don't need a lot of wheat, but that is going to be the food, the seeds that are going to blossom. And come September, when we're in mass momentum and it is like incentive and launch and incentive and launch, and it's nuts. And I know the timeline from September through October of what's coming. I know what's coming. And if you don't have those seeds to start harvesting because you've made those contacts, because you've planted those seeds, because you've started to let those seeds get roots so that they can break the surface and now they could be ready, you're not going to have anyone to talk to. You're not going to have people there with you. If you weren't working in May, it could be a really dry season for you right now. You need to get into your list and plant seeds now. Just because it's a dry season doesn't mean you don't plant the seeds and start watering. That's giving you the information of what you did 90 days ago. So we want to set up and to move into September and October, but you should be consistent in your business, consistent in piquing interest, consistent in reaching out, because planting 3 seeds a day for 1 month and 30 days, you guys, is 90 seeds. Planting 1 seed a day every single day for a year is 365 new seeds you planted that you didn't plant. Don't tell me that's not going to reap some sort of harvest in your business. It's going to. That's 1 a day. Talking to 1 new person a day, reaching out to 1 new person, piquing interest, developing a relationship, 1 a day. Now do 3 a day and see what happens. Okay, but don't, if you're doing none a day, don't suddenly tell me I'm going to reach out to 50 people and do it every single day, because you just won't. We're human. You just won't do that. So I hope that answers your question, Dylan, on what you wanted. Dylan, it took you 6 weeks to come to a Zoom. It took me 6 months after I was introduced to QScience. I knew about QSciences to even have a conversation with someone. So 6 weeks, you're good. I get worried that someone else will talk to the people I've talked to and sign them up because they are a better recruiter than me. So if that's your concern, you have to make sure that you are the solution to what people are looking for. And you are the solution because of the relationship you build. We can't just claim people because we know them. You don't just get to stake your claim because you're Facebook friends. You don't just get to like slap a sticker on someone because you send them a message. You don't. It doesn't work that way, because people join people. You don't get to just, it's like literally, you guys, what that is like, it's like you're like speed dating. Have you ever like seen that, where you like date for 5 minutes, but you're taking your claim on every single guy in the room because, oh, I talked to them for whatever it is, 30 seconds or whatever. I never did it. I don't even know what I'm talking about really, but you're staking claim on every single one, but you didn't build the relationship. If you're really into, you don't have to be a great recruiter to build a solid business, but you do have to be really good at connecting people to be the solution. And the best solution you can be is the bridge to the person that is already making a ton of money. So if you're not making a ton of money yet, you simply have to be the bridge to that person. Because the second you introduce into a 3-way message, because you found the solution they're looking for and they need to create that income, and you know the exact person to introduce them to, and you make that bridge, now you're into that 3-way message, you're not going to lose them. So remember that. Some of you guys are too much to be the expert in doing it alone and not using that step. And that is the thing that's making you lose them, because someone's connecting and you're not. Okay. This cannot be a fear of loss. There's 7.6 billion people in this world. We're in 21 countries. I promise you, everybody ends up exactly where they need to be. I promise you, it's all okay. Okay, I don't see any other questions. Okay, I think I covered everything, but all right, anything else? You guys good? All right, yeah, okay. Well, thanks, Paige. I did record it, so I'll send you the link so that you can share it with your team. All right, you guys. Bye, you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for having me.